It is the requirement of the car owner to keep it roadworthy. It is not the requirement of the Department of Transport, it seems, to keep the roads car-worthy. And I'd like you to take that back to your line minister, because that's what I've been hearing on the doors for the past 2 months. Why do cars have to be roadworthy and vehicles, but our roads do not have to be car-worthy? And that's a significant issue for road safety. Would you agree, Mr. Wade? Huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, Deputy Murphy.
Now,
one
that's all I need you to
one
do,
of the safe
because I only have
systems
6
is
minutes.
safer roads.
Yeah, and I'm going to, I just want to, like, the aim of this committee, as regards under-resourcing, I have never had any, I've had no correspondence from the RSA that tells me they would like more money. Not one piece. We have clarified, I have the right correspondence details, haven't we, Mr. Wade? Just to clarify that I did have the right correspondence details for you.
The 35 emails didn't go to my email address.
No, I didn't say they did. I didn't give you a number. I just said that I hadn't received a response from you. We've clarified it. The issue I have here is not just roads and the infrastructure. Visibility is a key factor. And when it comes down to roads and hedging, particularly in rural Ireland, I'd rather, instead of you going to Sweden, I'd much rather you'd come down to the South County Wexford, where we have half of the population, it would appear, of Dublin, driving on roads that are not white-lined, that the ditch, not hedges, ditches, have grown out by about, I'd say, somewhere around a metre. And that means that the driver of the car, with no white line on the road, is a foot away from the ditch and nearly on the other side of the road. And this is a primary consideration for road safety, but it's not one I've seen you represent. If you have, I want you to submit your representations to the committee. I know there has been extensive reports gone from the IRHA, for which I was party to, whereby if a truck loses its mirror because of the regulation with regards to all of the obligations with county councils and hedge cutting, they're not obliged to cut the ditches to the height of the mirror on a truck or a bus. Isn't that correct?
Deputy Murphy.
Is it correct, please, Mr. Wade? I have limited time, and this is important. This is to help you.
Let me answer. RSA have continually encouraged the cutting of hedges so that junctions are safe. We have run campaigns for hedges to be cut
at a height.
We have shared consistently with local councils the importance of hedges being cut. We have worked with the Irish Farmers Association to ensure that hedges are cut. There are many farmers. Let me finish.
I don't want to get touchy. The issue is not just the cutting. The issue is the height. And the problem we have with the NPWS is there is no recommendation from the RSA that the height is not sufficient. Like, you cut one cut, it only brings it to the height of a car. 2 cuts, possibly a tractor. You need 3. You need to be cutting ditches by 3 metres. Not 1, 3. Sorry, three, by over a metre, I should say. Sorry.
The point from here this morning is that's not happening. We're all aware of that. Not. And there's mirrors getting broken, so the truck drivers have to keep out because they are getting mirrors broken. The mirrors are, what, €300-400 in some cases.
It's the cost, it's the time off the road, it's the fact that whatever journey you undertake without a mirror is one of extreme danger, regardless. But my point here is, as the Road Safety Authority, I've seen no recommendation from you for that to change. Now, I've asked for it. I have asked, you've always said it's within the remit of the NPWS. Well, I suggest it's within your remit to give them the advices and the recommendations. And if it doesn't happen, because we have 6,000 kilometres of hedging in this country, in fields that the birds can nest in. Birds don't nest on the side of the road, and that's the primary reason for why we're not cutting ditches on the roadside. Now, I want to go back to you, Mr. Rowland. Is it your contention that Professor Desmond ONeal is stating that over 70s are not medically sound, or that they are less medically sound than other drivers?
I would clarify with Professor ONeal. My understanding is what Professor ONeal has said is that over 70s can be at a greater risk due to their age.
Okay, well, I'll read you what Professor ONeal says on the government website. Professor Desmond ONeal, National Office of Traffic Medicine, commented, "The change in extending the medical to 75 is welcome in terms of recognising that older drivers are an exceptionally responsible group of drivers. In addition, the change is supported by international research indicating that routine medical screening of older drivers is not only ineffective, but may actually unintentionally increase injury and death among older drivers as pedestrians." Does that sound like what you're saying?
What you're referencing there, Deputy, is in relation to Category B car drivers.
It's not relevant because we know medicals are provided for professionals, regardless of their age. Does that sound like he's saying over 70s in any category?
What he has differentiated is that drivers of cars can...
Where has he differentiated? I haven't read anywhere where he differentiates from that view.
Well, I will see...
You'll submit it?
I will, yeah, if it's there, I'll submit it, but I will clarify with him.
What do you mean you clarify with him? Like this is...
My understanding is what Professor ONeal has said is
the change in the age limit is supported, I'll just finish reading, by a range of supports for older drivers and healthcare professionals in terms of comprehensive guidelines on medical fitness to drive.
That is Category B drivers, not Category C.
Trucks.
It is buses. Buses.
B
is cars, it's tractors, it's what else? There's more than just B, sorry. There's more than B that applies to.
What it references to, because I clarified this with my team at the time and I've gone and I've checked the website within the NDLS system itself, what it states is that a medical report is required if you are driving a vehicle, a commercial vehicle, so a C and D and derivative of. In addition, we then call out other areas, one of which is if you are over the age of 75, which would bring it into the classification of an A and a B licence.
There's a lot more than A and B. There's tractors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a double licence.
My point is, yes, there's at least 6 categories. My point is that regardless of being over 70, there's no research that shows over 70s in any category are less safe than an over 70 driving a car. There is no research.